This is just a quick tutorial on how to replace or clean the earpiece speaker on a Xiaomi Redmi Note 2, which is this phone. As you can see, standard phone. So first thing you want to do is take off this cover. Quite easy to do. Make sure your phone's off, obviously. Then we're going to remove our battery here. Make sure that you also take out your SIM card and your memory card as well. Alright, we have a couple screws around here that need to be taken off so that we can get the frame off. We do have some screws that have a little Xiaomi sticker on them. You can take the sticker off and replace them later on if you want. They're just a warranty sticker. So let's go ahead and get rid of all these screws. So that's all our screws removed now. Now what we need to do is we need to remove this actual frame from the remainder of the phone. So you can try in one of the corners, you can just pick up a little bit like that, and then you can either just run your fingernail along the outside or just a flat screwdriver just to pick up that side. And you should be able to do the same with the other side. Make sure you hit all those clips. You don't want to put too much force on it, as you don't want to break the actual frame. The corners can be a little tricky. And there you go, so that'll now come off in two pieces. Don't need that piece. So now we've got our circuit board here, so our speaker is underneath here, so we're going to want to move this out of the way. Now what we need to do is we're going to be pulling this board off, so we need to remove all these little ribbon cables that you can see lying around. So for these ones with the green bar, all you do with that is that flicks up like so, and then that ribbon cable can just move out of the way like that. The ones that have the black bar, that flicks up from the opposite direction, and then once that's flicked up, you can remove the ribbon cable as well, like so. We'll do the same with this one here. It's another green one. Flicks up, and that comes off. So this is actually a front-facing camera, which you can completely take off. You don't have to take it off, but you can. That's the same with this one here. You can take it off. This one just pops straight off like so. So I'm just doing this just for the benefit so you can see everything being removed. Then we have another one here, which is just like that, back facing the rear camera, where it just pops upwards. We do have a couple other ones that you can remove, but we'll see if we can get away with not having to. Now on this board we have another couple screws that we need to take out, so here's our first one. So we can get rid of that. And then here's our second one. We'll get rid of that one as well. Like so. But now you'll be able to see that you can leverage up this front board a bit. We don't want to take the whole board off, as there's no real reason to pull this whole section off. We can just move the cables and we can angle up this little section. So that's all you need to do. As you can see in there, that's our little speaker in there. So if you just grab it, so it's a magnetic speaker, you can just pop it up like so, and they'll just pop completely out. So a lot of people are having is you're getting a little build up on the inside of the speaker, just in this section here. So here you're getting a lot of buildup, so you can just scrape that off, maybe with like a little cotton bud or something, just clean that off. And then making sure that you're replacing your speaker in the right way. if you look closely at that, you can see that one side is a little higher than the other side. And we're just going to make sure that we face that the right way so that it can make contact with those tabs. So the side that's raised, that needs to be facing the rear of the phone. So I've got these little bumps facing that way of the phone, and then we'll just slot this back into its little spot, and it'll just drop down like so. And then it's just connecting everything back up as it was. So first we'll put those screws back in that we had. Make sure your cables these ribbon cables like to sit underneath, so make sure that you pop them up before you start putting in your screws, otherwise you're going to cause yourself a little bit of trouble later on. So, screw back in all these two screws that we took off this top part of the board. I'm going to make it tight, but not too tight that it's going to do any damage to the actual board itself. There you go, those are both in. Put in our front-facing camera here. You can push it down, it sits nicely, and you'll push it in, you'll feel it slide in. And we just close up that little ribbon cable adapter. And putting in our rear-facing camera, drop it into its hole, and then just make sure that you push it in nicely onto its little contact point there. Make sure that anything that you've pulled off is pushed back on nicely. Get this cable down. Oh. It's being more difficult here. The cable doesn't want to bend underneath. There you go. The cable's nice in place. And then make this last one. Okay, that one's done. Should try to line this one up a little bit better. Generally it will go up to where those lines are, always as close as possible. So that's now all done, and then it's just putting back in that top layer, making sure that everything's connected. This wire can come out, so it just connects the two boards, so make sure that you've got that pushed all the way in, and just double check everything before you screw this on. Otherwise you're going to be causing yourself a little bit of a hassle having to take it off again and then put it back on again. So there, just press it down nicely, make sure you press in the corners and all along the edges. Make sure it's not rising up on any of the sides. So that's nice. And then just put back in all of the screws that we took out. There you go, easy as that. And just put back in your SD card, put your SIM back in, should be good to go.